Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Radio Canada International, police in Surrey, British Columbia, are investigating a shooting that took place early Thursday morning at the home of Cricket Canada President Arvind Kosa. Investigators believe the incident, which occurred in the South Newton neighborhood, is related to extortion. This is the second time the residence has been targeted, following a previous shots fired incident on May 20, 2026. While the home was occupied at the time of the shooting, police confirmed that no injuries were reported. The Surrey Police Service's Extortion Response Team has taken charge of the ongoing investigation. The incident comes in the wake of a broader investigation by CBC's The Fifth Estate published in April, which detailed allegations of corruption, match, fixing, and organized crime influence within Cricket Canada. The report also noted allegations connecting Kosa to individuals claiming ties to the Bishnoi gang, who had allegedly threatened a national player in 2025. Kosa has previously denied those allegations, and those accused of match fixing also deny any wrongdoing. According to a report by Global News, a prominent Canadian think tank is urging caution over declaring that the country has entered a recession, despite recent economic data showing consecutive quarters of contraction. Statistics Canada recently reported that the national economy shrank for 2 consecutive quarters, sparking intense debate on Parliament Hill. However, the Business Cycle Council of the D.HoweInstitute, traditionally regarded as the unofficial arbiter for declaring recessions in Canada, released a bulletin advising against premature conclusions. The council argued that 2 quarters of declining gross domestic product, GDP, are insufficient on their own to define a recession. They noted that the current economic weakness is not yet widespread or persistent enough to warrant the label, adding that the marginal decline recorded in the first quarter of the year is highly likely to be revised in the coming months. While the opposition Conservatives have blamed the Liberal government for what they describe as a full-blown recession, Prime Minister Mark Carney countered that economic growth will remain uneven as the government works to pivot the Canadian economy away from its heavy reliance on the United States. According to a report by the Canadian Press, a federal judge has issued an injunction halting an expanded Atlantic red snapper fishing season across 4 U.S. states: Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. This season, expected to be the longest in years, was approved by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, as part of the Trump administration's efforts to loosen regulations under the Restoring American Seafood Competitiveness Executive Order. However, U.S. District Judge Rudolph Contreras blocked the plan at the last minute due to pressing environmental concerns. Environmental groups, such as the Ocean Conservancy, warned that recreational catches under the state-managed plan could be 20 times higher than the limit allowed for the recovering fish stock. The suspension has ignited a fierce legal and political battle, pitting enthusiastic recreational anglers against struggling commercial fishermen and environmental advocates. While recreational fishermen argue that the red snapper population is thriving, marine scientists caution that most caught fish are young and have not yet reached reproductive maturity, necessitating continued conservation measures to avoid depleting the species. According to a report by the Canadian Press, St. John Energy, a municipally owned power company in New Brunswick, has launched a virtual clone of its electricity grid to serve as a testing ground for energy projects. The digital twin, named Plug-in Labs, provides researchers and private companies with a simulated environment containing near real-time data to test innovative technologies safely. Among the first to utilize the virtual grid is a team of researchers and students from Concordia University who will use it to model residential retrofits. Their goal is to identify which home upgrades are most effective at reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Ultimately, St. John Energy hopes this virtual grid initiative will facilitate the integration of more clean and renewable energy sources into the real-world power system. According to CBC, Canada's economy demonstrated unexpected resilience in May by adding 88,000 net jobs, defying economists' expectations of a modest 10,000 gain. This surge successfully erased nearly 80% of the job losses recorded in the first 4 months of 2026. Additionally, the national unemployment rate dropped from April's 6-month high of 6.9% to 6.6%. Statistics Canada reported that the employment growth was entirely concentrated in full-time positions, which saw an increase of 154,000 jobs, while part-time roles decreased by 66,200. Leading the job creation were the construction, culture, and recreation, and transportation sectors, whereas the wholesale and retail trade sector saw a decline of 35,000 positions. Meanwhile, youth unemployment improved, falling to 13.4%. The Bank of Canada, which closely monitors wage growth for inflation expectations, will likely note that average hourly wages for permanent employees rose by 3.2% in May, a notable slowdown from the 4.8% growth reported in April. Overall, the robust hiring data indicates the Canadian labor market is weathering ongoing trade uncertainties and tariff pressures. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.